Hello and welcome to this live class. An advice, please. There are different ways to ask for an advice depending on the person you are talking to, the situation, the circumstances. For example, can I ask you? Can I ask for your opinion or your advice about something? Yes. Read with me this dialogue, please. I'm so embarrassed. Why? Because I cried at work today. How come? My supervisor doesn't like me. Well, this is a simple dialogue, almost a childish conversation. But you see, it has different takes, and those takes are doing different things, and there is a grammar to it. This first take is a state of affairs. It uses verb to be expressing state, which in Portuguese estar, and not an identity, sou, but estou. All right? There is a request for clarification, why, and then the person responds, because I cried at work today. This takes expresses an event. Can you see what grammar it has to it? You're right, it's using simple past. I cried. Let's see the next one. How come? Well, my supervisor doesn't like me. And here this takes expresses a situation. And what grammar we find here? Doesn't like. Yes, you're right. Simple present. Well, this dialogue is not a real dialogue, okay? I made it out of my mind. But actually, this is on internet. Somebody posted a subreddit uh, with this title. Follow me on this. This person posted a subreddit requesting for an advice. It says, I cried at work today and I'm so embarrassed. Okay? In a subreddit, a post on internet, we don't use a dialogue, but we are likely to include the takes, the ways to express our ideas that I put here. Read with me this dialogue and see if you identify the different takes that there is in this narrative, right? Now, not a dialogue, but the narrative itself. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Read after me, please. I cried at work today and I'm so embarrassed. I'm a college student doing a summer internship. Can you repeat after me? It hasn't been extremely high stakes so far, but I always got the feeling my supervisor doesn't really like me and we don't click well. But I have been just trying to keep it polite and professional on the surface. Today, I went into the office and sat down to do my work as usual, and I misunderstood a task I was given, which I understand is my fault. I just genuinely misinterpreted my supervisor's directions and made up doing it wrong. Well, let's continue reading. My supervisor came over to check on what I was doing, and once he realized I had done it incorrectly, he got very visibly annoyed and started talking to me very sternly. He wasn't yelling or raising his voice, but he was obviously very upset and unhappy with me. I was so stunned and scared I couldn't do anything but just sit down there while he talked to me, down to me, and annoyedly explained how to do it correctly. At this point, I'm shaking, my hands are sweating, and my eyes keep welling up with tears. I tried as hard as I could to hold it in, but couldn't, and finally I just started silently crying. He acted like he didn't notice, but I'm sure he knew, and I'm sure he dislikes me even more than he already did. Now, I just nodded and got back to work, but I'm so embarrassed now. I just am so embarrassed now, not just for getting the task wrong, but for crying like that in front of everyone. I'm a very sensitive person, so I don't know. Um, so I don't know how I'm getting to face him or everyone else again in the office. I still have a long way to go for this internship, and I'm worried it's all messed up now. Wow, you see, it's not a dialogue. It's a narrative. It's a report on the circumstances, the situation, and the event itself, and the result of the event. You see, can you find those aspects, those elements in this narrative? Where can you find the actual state of things? Where can you see an event happening? And what is the situation? Okay, so remember there is a grammar to every part of this, and all of that story, it is introduced using a context, stating first a context, then it goes narrow into telling the situation, and it finally expresses the last event. Okay, and by the end, the state of affairs. The context is what we're talking about. Where, when was the event, the circumstance, the situation that it takes place? Okay, let's see what we have here. I'm a college student doing a summer internship, and more to the end, I'm a very sensitive person. That's what we read in not in the dialogue, but in the narrative. Okay. So as grammar aspects, we find here a predication. I'm a college student. It is a predication stating a kind of identity, if you like, right? And it also may bring some adverbials. For example, I'm a college student doing internship on summer. The adverbial on summer is not here, but we have an indication of it in the sentence which answers the where question. So it says, I'm a college student doing a summer internship, right? And finally, it says, I'm a very sensitive person. Again, it's a predication indicating a kind of identity. It uses verb to be, but now not expressing a state, but expressing an identity. In Portuguese, we say sou and not estou, right? I am. I am a student. Eu sou uma estudante. Eu sou um estudante and not estou uma estudante ou um estudante, right? So those aspects are found in the context of the narrative. Do you see? Do you agree with me? So now take time and think about the situation. Remember here we said in the situation we use the present simple. It's not different in the narrative. Let's see what we have here. I always got the feeling my supervisor doesn't really like me and we don't click well. But I have been just trying to keep it polite and professional on the surface. Okay. It is the situation because it explains a habit. It's habitual, what usually goes on there. And we have here present tenses, not only simple present, but we also have here in this sentence a present perfect tense, like I I have been just trying to keep it polite. I have been. So you see, there is a grammar to it. Present tenses express the situation. Going further, we have the event. The event is not situational, the event is punctual. What actually happened? What took place in that circumstance, in that situation, right? Let's see what we have here. It uses the current event, here the past tense, just like what we find here. I cried at work today. And it says, I tried as hard as I could to hold it in, but couldn't. And finally, I just started silently crying. So, you see, the past tense is present here. We find the past tense here multiple times, like for the verb tried, for the and started. Besides what we find on the title, I cried at work today. You see, um, when we tell something, either in a dialogue, in a conversation, or in a report on a website, we use language references. We have a structure to say, right? Well, there are many ways to respond to this advice request. The person may focus on the context, may focus on the situation or the event itself, or even in the state of affair, which is the result of the event, right? A person could say, for example, "Oh, I recommend you change your job." So this person is recommended to change the context. Or the person could say, "Oh, you should be more careful and do the things more correctly, be attentive, don't do things wrong, try hard the next time and focus on the situation." Or even focus on the event itself and say, "Well, you cried, but it happens. We're just humans." All right? And even on the result, "I'm so embarrassed," and advise the person not to be embarrassed. "Oh, don't be embarrassed. I'm here. I'm a friend. I'll look after you," and so on and so forth. Now, I would love to listen to your story. Do you ever ask or do you ever need advice for any situation in your life? Is there anything happening to you right now, a state of affairs that you don't know how to handle, that something you're struggling with? So feel free to tell me. You can write a note and put me and share with me on Google with my email brainiel at gmail.com. I'll try as hard as I can to answer. All right. Thank you for being with me in this live class today. And don't forget to check out in our YouTube pages. There are more classes there. There is more even in this topic I cried at work today. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye for now.